Hey guys, welcome to my review for the Golden Age arc in Berserk. Yeah, here we are. How long has it been since my first Berserk recommend? So Berserk. I finally read the first major story arc, and it's finally time I do a proper video on it. Now, this will be spoiler free in case you haven't read Berserk, but I will also be alluding to certain things that if you have read Berserk, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, going into it, I'm gonna be honest, I had some pretty crazy high hopes because I mean, seriously, you spend like 5 minutes in the manga community, like half the people here think that Berserk is the greatest thing ever made. I've heard people say that the Golden Age arc of Berserk is one of the greatest stories ever told. So I was very excited to check that and see what the fuss was all about. And after reading it, I can say that this is definitely a very, very good story. That being said, I also have to ask, Nani? So the Golden Age arc sort of serves as a backstory for the first couple volumes of Berserk. You know, when those were introduced to Guts, we see how crazy powerful he is. They set up this conflict he has with the God Hands about a bunch of crazy shit happened to him. It's the story of Guts joining a group of mercenaries, the Band of the Hawk. It's about his relationship with their leader, Griffith, and his relationship with one of the other members, Casca. They fight in some battles, they go on missions, a whole bunch of crazy shit happens. And it all comes together in one crazy climax that definitely gives us some of the answers to questions we had at the start of the series. Now, I was not exaggerating when I said I really enjoyed this story. I thought it was so well done. You know, I liked seeing the evolution of Griffith, his character development from when he was a small boy to when he was a captain in the Band of the Hawk. I loved his relationship with all of the characters. Guts, to me, was not the most interesting character of all time, but I did really enjoy a lot of these characters. I thought they all worked well off of each other, and there were some pretty emotional moments between them. I thought there was some really excellent writing in this arc. A lot of times, you know, you reflect on what the characters say, like, whoa, that's a lot to take in. And I really enjoyed the narrative. I loved all of the twists and turns, the crazy shit that happens. My favorite part was probably Guts and Griffith. I love how they sort of began to respect each other more throughout the arc. To the point where if someone fucked with Griffith, Guts would probably come after you and slice you to bits. Anyway, so like I was saying, all this builds up to a crazy fucking climax. It's probably unlike anything I have ever seen in the manga. And this brings me to a few minor things I wasn't too keen on in Berserk. Now, the first one isn't really a problem with the story, more so how the story is structured. I didn't really like how we knew the twist of this arc before it happened. Because once this arc starts, you know that something is going to happen in the end, okay? You know things are not going to go smoothly the whole way through. I don't want to spoil it, but you know eventually something has to happen. So when this huge climax finally happened, I kind of felt a little underwhelmed just because I pretty much knew how it was going to end. Now, of course, I didn't know all the details. I didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, but I did have an idea of the end game because of what happened before the Golden Age arc. So when they sort of play around with like, oh, is it going to happen or not? I'm like, yeah, you know, just come on. But overall, I have to say, I was very impressed with the story of Berserk. It didn't blow me away. It's not one of my favorite manga of all time, but I thought it was very enjoyable. And I have to say, the artwork in this series is fantastic, okay? I'm not a huge fan of the character designs, if I'm being honest. They sometimes look a little bit weird to me, but the art definitely did get better as it went on. And it honestly just looks phenomenal, okay? Very detailed, very well done stuff. Especially the action scenes, which are fantastic for the most part. Berserk probably has the most relentless and gut-wrenchingly horrific violence I have ever seen in any type of media, period. What the fuck? And of course, it's also full of some extremely graphic sexual content. I'm gonna be honest, like, there were a few times where I'm like, holy shit, did they really just go that far? I understand the need for a lot of this stuff, okay? The world of Berserk, Midland, is a very fucked up place, and it is full of people who are extremely fucked up. And a lot of times I do think these, you know, strong adult themes work well to tell the story, to show us who certain characters are, to show us what the world is like. It works well as just showing us, yo, this is the type of series we're in, it's dark, it's super fucked up. But I also had to ask a few times if all of this was really necessary. Now, like I said, a lot of it is, okay? A lot of it I'm like, yo, this is fucked, but yeah, I understand why he put it in here. But there were a lot of times where I'm like, come on, man. Come on. And this is sort of the way I feel about the climax of this arc. You know, people always go on about how fantastic it is. To me, while the story was good, it was sort of lessened because I knew eventually what was going to happen. And to me, it just seemed like, you know, gore porn. Like, this climax had some of the most fucked up and disturbing things I've ever seen, but I really don't know if it had to be this ridiculously over the top. And one more thing that I have to ask before I give my final verdict and recommendation. How the fuck is Guts that strong? Seriously. I mean, I get it's a manga, and it's not really that big a deal. But how can this dude, like, take on entire armies of people by himself? I mean, he's not a god. He's not superhuman. I mean, sure, he's skilled with a sword, but Jesus Christ, come on. But overall, none of these things really took me out of Berserk. I still found it to be a really engaging story, and I'm really excited to keep reading over the holidays and see where it goes. And hopefully it does go somewhere and doesn't just, you know, amount to nothing where it's on hiatus now and it might never end. But anyway, all that being said, if you haven't read Berserk yet, I definitely recommend you check it out. However, if you are one who is not really a fan of excessive gory violence and not a fan of seeing people get raped all the time, I don't think the great story will make you look past this stuff bothering you. It is definitely not a series for everyone, and I can't stress that enough. I see so many people just like, oh, Berserk is the greatest series of all time, everyone needs to read it. I really think that if you don't like these certain themes, you're just not gonna like Berserk. That being said, if you don't mind it, can't recommend this enough. It's pretty freaking great. So there you go. Thank you all so much for watching. Now, depending on how the series goes, I may actually do reviews for each story arc. You guys should let me know in the comments if you want to see those. And I'll see you guys soon for the season finale of Manga Alert, which, oh man, it's gonna be a good one.